Hello and welcome to Words You Need, Level 3, Lesson 4. Level 3 is for people who already speak English well, so you understand me when I speak English, but you want to speak English really well. You want to break through to the next level. So, if that's you, then I hope that these words and this lesson will be really useful. Let's go. First one, word number 151. Я восхищаюсь ее стилем. Восхищаюсь. I admire her style. Here we have two words with an I sound. Admire, style. I style. I style. Two sounds. Admire. 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 Style. Style. Admire her style. I admire her style. This verb, to admire. Yes, it's восхищаться. When I look at something and I love it. I get pleasure from looking at it. Everybody admired the baby. But what about this? Everybody admires Grandpa. Maybe people like looking at Grandpa, but probably when we say, I admire Grandpa, it has a different meaning. You can admire with your eyes, восхищаться, everybody admired the baby. And you can admire with your soul. You can have feelings of great respect for somebody. I really respect my grandfather and I value him. So that's also to admire. So there's admire with your eyes. Wow. Maybe that's to admire своими глазами. And then there's also admire with your soul. Maybe that's when you admire with your очи. Is it своими очами? Something like that. So admire, two meanings depending on the context. The noun, ее глаза были полны восхищения. Her eyes were full of admiration. Admiration. So the pronunciation changes quite a lot. Admire, the verb, admiration, the noun. Admire, admiration. Admire, admiration. Okay, next word, 152. Население составляет примерно 500 000 человек. The population is, of course, I could say, the population is about 500,000. The population is around 500,000. The population is approximately 500,000. And because this is Words You Need Level 3, here we need the word approximately. Approximately. So the stress is on the second syllable. So we make it longer. Not approximately with an or, but approximately. Lots of pff, lots of approximately 500,000. And for some reason, voice typing doesn't like writing 500,000. But there we go. Approximately 500,000. Approximately. Next one. 153. Мне нужен чистый лист бумаги. Чистый лист. I need a blank sheet of paper. Of course, there's a Russian word blank, but blank is not a blank in English. I think blank is usually an empty form. So here is an empty form for you to fill in. I think that's a blank in Russian, который надо заполнить. Actually, in lessons we do say you need to fill in the blanks. So the blanks are the gaps. For example, we have 3 words, then a blank. That's what I have in these sentences. I have these blanks that you need to fill in. So we do have blanks like that, but blank на русском isn't usually blank in English. Here we have a blank sheet of paper. And let's look at what other things are often blank. A blank. Let's have a look. So we often have a blank check. That's about money. He wrote me a blank check. That means that actually in British English, check is spelt like that. So I could fill in the amount. £100, £200, £500. That's a blank check. We also often talk about it was a blank slate. So slate is kusok slantsa. And before we had paper, school children used to write on these kusochki slantsa. Grifilnir, maybe you use that word, I don't know. Anyway, that's a slate. So a blank slate is, like a blank piece of paper, but blank piece of paper is difficult to say. Whereas a blank slate, it sounds nice. It has a ring to it. So we often say a blank slate. But you can also talk about, he gave me a blank canvas. So canvas is holst. So for painting, a blank canvas. So different words that often go with blank. Okay, the next one. Луна сегодня очень яркая. What's яркая? I think you know this word. The moon is very bright tonight. But interestingly, what does this mean? My brother is really bright. That means very clever. He's very clever. Like a light bulb. He's very bright. It doesn't mean like яркая личность. I don't know. It's about how clever he is, his intellect. So if you see bright to describe a person, remember, it's about intellect. Very bright. Shustry, actually. It's quite a good way to describe Shustry. He's bright. Or just umny. Maybe it's just umny. And the noun that goes with bright is brightness. Can you increase the brightness? This is a good chance to practice your glottal stop. So glottal stop is when we don't say brightness, we say brightness, bright, and we stop the sound in our throat with our vocal cords. Brightness, the brightness. And British people very often use glottal stop before consonants. Some British people use glottal stop before vowels. That sounds a bit more lower class. But everybody does this before consonants. So I say brightness all the time. But I don't say brighter. So brighter sounds would be working class English. Brighter with glottal stop. Whereas brightness, anybody can say that. So, if you don't want to have working class English, don't say brighter. But if you want to speak very natural English, do say brightness. 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 Try it. That was another glottal stop. I said, try it. It. Try it. Okay, next one. 155. Я не смог догнать группу. Не смог догнать. Как будет догнать? How do we say догнать in English? Phrasal verb. I couldn't catch up with the group. I couldn't catch up. So catch up is when something is moving, it's moving away, and I'm trying to catch up with the group. To catch up. So it's to reach a moving target. I couldn't catch up with the group. We also use it like, we haven't talked for ages. Full stop. We need to catch up. So that's when we share news, because lots of things have happened and I don't know about them. So I need to catch up. I need to get up to date with everything that has happened in your life. So catch up, it can be literally running. It could be in class, if the class has moved on and I missed some lessons because I was ill and I need to catch up. Or it could be like, I haven't seen my friend, so I don't know what's happened in her life, so we need to catch up. Catch up. Okay, next one. Это повод для беспокойства. Very important word. It is a cause for concern. A cause. We use the word cause. We talk about causes a lot. It's not always easy to translate this word into Russian. Sometimes it's повод. Sometimes it's причина. Перечислите причины Первой мировой войны. List the causes of the First World War. So a cause can be повод, a cause can be причина. But a cause always has an effect. Cause and effect. A cause always has... No. Try again. Voice typing didn't work. A cause always has an effect. No, can't do it. A cause always has an effect. So if we're talking about a result, then we can always talk about what caused that result. So for example, the result could be cancer. What causes cancer? Smoking can cause cancer. We could use the noun. Smoking is one of the causes of cancer. Damage, ущерб. What can cause damage to buildings? Could be a storm. The storm caused a lot of damage. And let's have a look at what nouns often come after the word cause. So this will be cause noun, and then collocates. Cause verb, and collocates, and then we want nouns. Let's see what we get. So, it caused a lot of problems. It caused a lot of damage. It caused a lot of pain. It caused a lot of people to protest. So a cause, it's like it triggers it. It makes something happen. And as you can see, we very often use it with negative things, with bad things that happen. One more sentence. Несчастный случай произошел по неосторожности. The accident was caused by carelessness. Pronunciation, quickly. I want to talk about cause and because. So cause has a long or sound with a z at the end. Cause. Cause. Try to make it at least two sounds. Cause. 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 But because is a short art sound. Because. Because. Cause. Because. Cause. Because. So be careful with those two words. Right, 157. Я считаю своей обязанностью помочь. I consider it my responsibility to help. Считать, consider. We can also consider ourselves something. I consider myself a good teacher. Я считаю, что я хороший учитель. I consider myself a good teacher. Мы рассмотрели 3 варианта, can also be consider. We considered 3 options. Remember, the second syllable is stressed, so we get a long s sound. We considered 3 options. 158. Сантехник заменил все трубы. The plumber replaced all the pipes. So here we have an I between 2 p sounds. Usually between 2 unvoiced sounds, глухие звуки, the vowel gets clipped. Pipes. Pipes. There's not a lot of vowel. Pipes. Replaced all the pipes. Pipe. Pipe is also for smoking. My grandfather smoked a pipe. You know, like also truba, I think. In Lord of the Rings, Gandalf smoked a long pipe. It's not Gandalf, it's Gandalf. What's that about? Anyway, 159. Малыш кричала, я не мог ее успокоить. What is кричать when it's малыш? It's not shout. The baby was screaming and I couldn't calm her. So to scream and to shout, what's the difference? To shout is often words. So кричать слова is to shout, often. Don't shout. I can hear you when you speak normally. He shouted over the wind because the wind was really loud. So shout is words. Scream is pure emotion. No words, pure emotion. Ah! That's screaming. Babies can't use words. That's why babies don't shout. They only scream. And this sentence, несколько минут назад я услышал крик. If we use the word scream, I heard a scream a few minutes ago. That means it was ah! It was a крик of pure emotion without words. Okay, you can say, she screamed at me for 10 minutes. Maybe she used words, but she used words with a lot of emotion. So it is possible to scream with words, but usually scream is no words, just emotion. And number 160, почему ты, oh no, шепчешь, I don't know. In English, why are you whispering? Interesting word, whisper. It sounds like whisper, whisper. A long s, because s is a whispering noise. Why are you whispering? Whisper. Why are you whispering? And that is the first 10 words of this lesson. In my course, Words You Need, these big lessons are divided into groups of 10. So you can practice each group of 10 separately on my website, hopkinsenglish.com, and in my app, if you have bought the full version of the course. So you might want to stop the video now and practice those words, or you might want to keep watching and listen to me talking about another set of 10. Number 161. Нам нужно вызвать скорую помощь. We need to call an ambulance. Connected speech, an ambulance. An ambulance. The ambulance came quickly. So after the becomes the before ambulance because it begins with a vowel. The ambulance. The ambulance, the ambulance. And because the am is stressed, we get a long m. The ambulance came quickly. Ambulance, ambulance. Next one. Мы хотим привлечь новых клиентов. I'm sure you know this word, привлечь. We want to attract new clients. More connected speech. So, to attract. Remember that before a vowel, we add a little w after to. To attract. To attract. We want to attract new clients. And we have tr. When we pronounce tr, it becomes like a ch. To attract, to attract new clients. Мух привлекает свет. Flies are attracted to light. Did you hear my connected speech? Are attracted. Flies are attracted. No gaps. Flies are attracted. Flies are attracted to light. Attracted. Это главная туристическая достопримечательность города. How do we talk about достопримечательности? That wonderful long Russian word. It is the town's main tourist attraction. So, достопримечательности, it can just be the sights. Осматривать достопримечательности can be sightseeing. Or we can talk about tourist attractions. It's the town's main tourist attraction. Of course, with an apostrophe. Attraction. Try to get this attraction. Attraction. And у нее привлекательный характер. She has an attractive personality. Attractive. Lots of attractive. A very short a. Open your mouth. Attractive. An attractive personality. Next. Спасибо вам за вашу обратную связь. Of course, in Russian, you also use the word feedback. Feedback. But in English, it's not feedback, it's feedback. Thank you for your feedback. Feedback. You really need to stretch the feed. Feedback. Feedback. Your feedback was very helpful. Thank you. Feedback. Lots of f. Feedback. Feedback. Remember, feedback, feed plus back, it's a compound noun with compound nouns. In Russian, the stress is always on the second syllable. Notebook, feedback, rucksack. In English, it's always on the first syllable. Feedback, notebook, rucksack. So be careful with those words. 164. Правительство объявило о крупном инциденте. Крупный инцидент. The government declared a major incident. What else can be major? Let's have a look. A major list. Major. Plus a noun. Let's see if this works. The Major League, that's about baseball. The MLS, the Major League. We often use this phrase, a major role. He played a major role in the founding of the European Union. Significant, a big role. All the major cities were affected by the crisis. Крупные города страны. Major. What else can we talk about? There were some major changes to the plan. It was a major factor in my decision. Major, useful word. And from this word we get the word majority. Мы в большинстве. We are in the majority. The majority. So major, stress on the first syllable, majority on the second. We're in the majority. The majority of people like I don't know what do they like? The majority of people like coffee. There we go. The majority of people like coffee. Let's have a look at what other majorities we get. Majority of people, majority of Americans, majority of students, majority of voters. So it's usually about people. The larger group of people, the majority. Okay. 165. Это старомодное слово. Старомодное. This is an old-fashioned word. An old-fashioned word. When you pronounce the word old, try not to say old. Old. Try to put in a w. It's like saying old. And the l is dark l, which is pronounced with the tip of the tongue down, and this part up. Old-fashioned. Old-fashioned. This is an old-fashioned word. It's old-fashioned. 166. У меня в комнате есть несколько растений. You definitely know this word. I've got some plants in my room. Or Southern English pronunciation, I've got some plants in my room. So it's plants, or plants, double sound, plants. Plants, single sound, plants, plants, double sound, plants. You have to choose. Don't say plants, русский вариант. Plants or plants, plants in my room. Another meaning of plant is она работает на водоочистной станции. She works in a water treatment plant. Or plant. Plant or plant. Sometimes we use the word plant to talk about factories. I think if a product is only assembled, then it's a plant. Whereas if the parts are actually manufactured there, then it's a factory. So that's why, I don't know. If there's a place where all the parts of the car are just put together, but none of the parts of the car are made in that place, then it's a plant. Whereas the place where the car parts are made is a factory. So with cars, it sometimes happens. They make all the parts, I don't know, in China. Then they deliver them to Belarus, to the Geely plant. And at the Geely plant in Belarus, they assemble the cars. And so it's a plant, not a factory. I think that's how it works. Plants and factories. Я работаю в издательстве. I work for a publisher. And of course, the verb is to publish. So, my first book was published last year. It's not true. Although, I self-published a book about phrasal verbs. But I have never had a book published by a publisher. Next one, 168. Они продают широкий ассортимент товаров для здоровья. So, ассортимент in this case. They sell a wide range of health products. So the word is range. Now this word is used in a range of ways. This will help you to remember. La 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 la. So la Ah, that's the top of my range. La, la. Oh, I can get lower. La. That's the bottom of my range. Da, the top. Da, the bottom. So range is diapason. We can talk about the range of temperatures. So the range of temperature in Petrozavodsk, where I live, is from minus 30 in winter to plus 30 in summer. So it's 60 degrees. It's quite a wide range, but I know some places in Siberia have a bigger range. So range is diapason, or in this case, assortiment, because it's a bit like a diapason, you know, this and this and this and this and this. It's a range. And if we have lots of different options, celý riad variantov, you can also say range. We have a range of options. And range can also be a verb. Kwartieri варьируются от просторных пентхаусов до крошечных студий. Apartments range from vast penthouses to tiny studios. They range from this all the way to this. It's a big range. Useful word. Look out for it and try to use it. A big range. Some collocations with range. Range of... So we talk about a range of issues. We discussed a range of issues. We talked about a range of topics. Different things. Range of options, we had that. They offer a range of services. A wide range, a broad range. You can see which adjectives often come before range. You'll see a wide range, a broad range, the full range. Oh, but close range just means close. So they shot him from close range. Means they were not a big distance. So close range means a small distance. He scored a goal from long range. That means he was a long way from the goal when he shot in football. So it was a long range shot. Right, 169. Вы должны быть пристегнуты ремнем безопасности. You are required to wear a seatbelt. You are required to do it. It is a requirement. Каковы требования? What are the requirements? This verb is nearly always used as a passive. You are required to... Let's have a look. Required to... You are required to be home before midnight. It's quite formal. You must be home before midnight. You are required to make payments before the 5th of the month. It's a formal требование. Required to pay. So, requirements. Верите ли вы в мир духов? Духов, maybe. Do you believe in the spirit world? So, duhi can be perfume. Obviously, if we're talking about what we wear to smell nice, then duhi is perfume. But if we're talking about things which don't have bodies, they are spirits. Spirits. And we also use spirits sometimes to talk about mood. So this is a fixed expression. Они были в хорошем настроении. They were in good spirits when they set off. Spirits. And I think спиртное comes from this word spirits, because спиртное, they sell spirits. A spirit is a strong alcoholic drink. So vodka, rum, gin, they're spirits. Спиртные. spirits, spirtnie. Big difference between Russian spirit and English spirits is we stretch the s. Spirits, spirits. Oh, and that's a set of 10. So, in a minute, I will continue with the next set of 10 words, but you can pause the video if you like and go and practice these ones. Number 171. Ты помнишь нашей паре? Do you remember our bet? Bet. You don't want to say bat. So how do we get a clear difference between bet and bat? Bet. Try to pronounce the b with your lips in front of your top teeth. Bet. Bet. But bat, bat, try to pull your top lip over your teeth. Bat. Bet, bat, bet, bat, bet, bat, and that should make the word sound really different. Bet, bat, bet, ba, bet, ba, bet, ba. Of course, you need to smile for both. So I'm smiling, bet, smiling, bat, my lip position is different. Bet before bat before bet, bat, bet, bat. So our bet. This is a very popular word in British English, perhaps because people have loved betting for a long time. Она делает ставки на футбол. She bets on football. You may know that many popular sports were invented in Britain. Football, rugby, cricket, probably some more. And sport and betting are very closely related. Many people love betting on sports. But very often we use the word bet when we're not really having a bet with somebody. Just instead of saying, I think he's lying, if I really think it, if I'm quite sure that it's true, I don't just say, yeah, I think he's lying. I say, I bet he's lying. Точно, точно, я вот уверен. Я уверен, I bet he's lying. I bet. Next one. А можете ли вы сделать мне скидку? What's скидка in English? Useful word if you are in a market somewhere and you want to get a better price. Can you give me a discount? Try not to say dies, it's a discount. The stress is on the first syllable, so it's we do a little pause, a discount. I missed the duh. A discount. Can you give me a discount? Discount. But not too much E, please. A discount. Give me a discount. And if you get a good discount, then you can say, oh, it was a bargain. Выгодная покупка. Next one, 173. Говорят, в замке заводится привидение. What's привидение in English? Of course, you know this word. They say that there is a ghost in the castle. Just be careful with the pronunciation. It's not ghost, it's ghost. There's a w in it. G, w, little pause, st. Ghost. 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 A ghost in the castle. Are you afraid of ghosts? When you say ghosts, there should be a lot of s. Ghosts. Imagine a ghost moving around the castle. Ghost. A ghost. Next one. Страница все еще загружается. I hope that this is not a problem on my website. If my website is working really slowly, please tell me. I need to know so I can manage how much I pay for bandwidth. So if it's loading slowly, I need to know about it. The page is still loading. Loading, loading, loading. Of course, there's upload a picture to the internet, download a picture from the internet. Upload, download, loading. But that is not the original meaning of the word load. The original meaning is about putting items onto something or into something. So in this case, грузовик загружен. The truck is loaded. We also often say, the gun is loaded. If it has bullets in it, it's loaded. And if you say, he's loaded, it means he's really rich. It's like he's loaded with money. Oh, he's loaded. He's got a lot of money. Loaded. And there is the noun as well, тяжелый груз. He was carrying a heavy load. And don't forget that although you don't see it, this word has a lot of w in it. Load, load, load. Load rhymes with flowed. It's the same sound, different letters. Load, flowed. Load, flowed. Okay, next one. 175. У моей бабушки прекрасный сад. Просто прекрасный. My grandmother has a lovely garden. When I use this word, I always try to stretch the l. Lovely. It's lovely. Let's look at some collocations with lovely. Of course, we often talk about we had a lovely day. He has a lovely wife. I met a lovely lady. As you can see, the word lovely is quite feminine because lovely lady, lovely woman, lovely girl, lovely ladies, they're at the top. If you go down here to number 14, you can find a lovely man. There you go. But we talk about lovely ladies a lot more than we talk about lovely men. 176. В мероприятии приняло участие много людей. Many people participated in the event. And if many people participated, then there were many participants. So participants participate. Participants participate. Or to take part. And very often we use the phrase to take part. The participants took part. 177. Наша компания разрабатывает программное обеспечение для школ. Our company develops software for schools. Be careful with this word. Firstly, it's not just soft. Yes, I develop soft. No, soft means мягкий. You need to say software if you're talking about soft. Программное обеспечение. Software. And try to make the s long. You know, it's not soft. It's software. Develop software. Software. We have an o between two unvoiced consonants. Между глухими согласными. Software. So we really swallow, проглатываем the vowel. Software. Software. 178. Яйцеклетки женщины могут храниться много лет. Храниться. A woman's eggs can be stored for many years. To store, хранить something. Now, interestingly, Americans use this word store for magazine. For magazine. Shop in British English. Мне нужно сходить в хозяйственный магазин. I need to go to the hardware store. Hardware store. Why is it store? It's not a store. It's not a place where things are stored. It's a place where you buy stuff. That's why it's a shop. But Americans call it a store for some reason. Maybe in your house. We have a storeroom in the basement. So a storeroom is a room for storing things, где вещи храняются. Кладовка, в принципе. A storeroom. And there's also a noun, storage. В хранилище музея хранятся тысячи экспонатов. The museum has thousands of items in storage. So, storage. We talk about хранилище. 179. Эта поверхность очень гладкая. Gladkaya. You should know this. Gladkaya is smooth, but here we need the word поверхность. This surface is very smooth. Nearly, it said service. Let's try again. Come on, voice typing. This surface is very smooth. I got it. So, service, surface, service, surface, service, surface. Yes, you try it yourself with voice typing. Try to make your device type service and surface. It's a good challenge because the words are quite similar. Service, surface. What happens? Surface, we have the before a f. So the s gets a bit longer when we say поверхность. Whereas when we say service, before the v, the vowel is a bit longer. So surface, service, surface, service. But it's quite difficult. So you try it. Anyway, surface is поверхность, surface, surface, on the surface. What do we talk about? Surface of, noun. What do we often find after surface of? The surface of the water, the surface of the earth, the surface of the planet, the surface of the moon, surface of the поверхность. Okay, and 180, that's the last word in this set of 10, this mini lesson. Заключенный был переведен в другую тюрьму. Переведен. Переводы. We also use this word to talk about money, not only prisoners. The prisoner was transferred to another jail. Just be careful, because transfer in Russian, but the verb is transferred. Transfer, we paid $50 for a transfer to the hotel. So a transfer, the stress is on the first syllable. The transfer was agreed at the last minute. The transfer of the player, from one club to another. Whoa. The transfer of the player was agreed at the last minute. From one club to another. Transfer, stress on the first syllable. Transfer is the verb. Transfer, the noun. Transfer, the verb. This word comes from the verb. Этот билет не подлежит передаче другому лицу. This ticket is not transferable. 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 So the stress is on because it comes from the verb transfer. Transferable. And that's another set of 10. Well done. Press pause, go and practice, or stay with me. I will talk about another set of 10. 181. 250 лет назад здесь произошла великая битва. What is битва in English? There was a great battle here 250 years ago. Battle. Okay, how can you say battle so it doesn't sound like battle? B-b-b. Remember when I talked about bet and bat? Ba-ba-bat, be-be-bet. Battle. B-b. You need to curl your lip over your top teeth. Battle. 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 Then you'll get a good ah. Battle. A great battle. Next one. Он сколотил состояние на продаже мобильных телефонов. He made a fortune selling mobile phones. A fortune, it's a lot of money. A fortune. Loads of money. Fortune. Try to pronounce the T like ch. Fortune. Tune. Because it's TU and TU is usually pronounced ch. Fortune. Fortune. He made a fortune. Fortune also just means luck. Для нас это была большая удача. It was a piece of good fortune for us. So, fortune is luck, удача. And that's why this is the word that everybody knows. К сожалению, завтра я занят. Unfortunately, I'm not available tomorrow. Now, very few people pronounce this word naturally. Unfortunately. So, for ch, because it's tu, ch, n. Try to do the glottal stop. N-ly. Unfortunately, n-ly. If you can do this instead of nutly, unfortunately, you will sound much more natural. Unfortunately. Practice it. Unfortunately. I'm not available tomorrow. 183. Бензин – это один из видов топлива. What's топливо in English? Petrol is a type of fuel. Fuel. Try to get lots of w into this word. Fuel. Lots of w. Fuel. And we also use this word as a verb. Экономический бум подпитывался дешевой энергией. The economic boom was fueled by cheap energy. So fuel is a noun and a verb. To fuel something. What gets fueled, I wonder? Let's use collocates for this. Reset. Collocates was fueled. So which words come before this time? Let's have a look. Oh. Not a lot. Let's try the American version. American spelling. A little bit more. Growth was fueled, the economy was fueled, but it's clearly not an expression that's used very often. This will give us a little bit more because it has all the forms of to be. Yeah, the market was fueled, growth was fueled, his passion was fueled by So, fueled. Right, next one. Я не виновен. Это не моя вина. Of course, you can say, it's not my fault. That's if it's something that's not very serious. It's not my fault. If it's something more serious, if we're talking about a court or a trial, then people say, I am not guilty. But in everyday life, we most often use the word guilty to talk about a feeling. Don't make me feel guilty. It's not a nice feeling. Feeling guilty is not nice. And the noun, of course, is guilt. Они не смогли доказать его вину. They could not prove his guilt. Be careful, it's not guilt, it's guilt. You need to start with g, an open mouth. If you start here, guilt, you'll say guilt with a Russian accent. Guilt. G, mouth open, guilt. Guilt. And a nice phrase. Теперь пришло время немного расслабиться без чувства вины. Без чувства вины. Это очень хорошо. Now it's time for some guilt-free relaxation. Guilt-free. I don't want to feel guilty. I want to be guilt-free. Без чувства вины. Next one. Вы верите в рай? What's рай in English? Do you believe in heaven? When you say this word, open your mouth, smile, heaven, heaven. You can stretch the h a little bit. Heaven, heaven. So it's not strong, it's not heaven, it's in your throat. Heaven. Do you believe in heaven? Heaven. And the adjective? This cheesecake is heavenly. Maybe it's like божественно. It's heavenly. 186. В моем городе много предприятий тяжелой промышленности. Промышленность. There is a lot of heavy industry in my city. The stress is at the beginning on in. So what do? We have a long n. Industry. 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 Hold it. Industry. A lot of heavy industry. And the adjective промышленный город. I come from an industrial city. Here the stress moves. Industrial. Industrial. So we stretch the S. Industrial. Industry with a n. Industrial with a s. Industry, industrial. Industry, industrial. So remember, stressed syllables are longer, not louder. 187. Когда я пришел в фирму, я был младшим партнером. Младший партнер, it's not a little partner. When I joined the firm, I was a junior partner. Junior. Remember the stresses at the beginning. Junior. And we get some w. Junior. Junior. Lots of w in the word. Junior. Junior. I guess junior partner is the most common junior phrase. Let's have a look. Junior. What else do we sometimes say? Junior year, because in American university they have the different years. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So you get your junior year is your third year at college. And all of these other words are about American colleges, universities. Yeah, interesting. Next one then. 188. Под городом проходит сеть туннелей. There is a network of tunnels under the city. Did you notice? I said network. Network. I used this glottal stop. Network. Network. Before a consonant, before a w. Network. There's a network. We often talk about I love social networks. Социальные сети. Networks. Networks. And there's also a thing, I hate networking. Is it networking in Russian? I guess it is. Networking, you know, where you go to these events because you need to make connections. You need to build your personal network. Network. Try to say it. Network. without closing your mouth. Network. Network. Of course, you can say network if you want. Network. But if you can learn to say it with a glottal stop, network, 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 you'll sound really natural. Next one, 189. В этой коробке находится 3 предмета. A word for предмет could be items, it could just be things, but here we're going to use the word objects. There are 3 objects in this box. Object. So an object is a thing. Maybe you know this abbreviation, UFO. A UFO is an unidentified flying object. No, I failed with voice typing. I saw an unidentified flying object. Got it. An identified flying object. What is it in Russian? Let me check. NLO. NLO. In English, a UFO, an identified flying object. Next one, 190. Гражданское общество становится сильнее. Did you know my university dissertation was about гражданское общество в России? Russian civil society. Civil society is getting stronger. Society. Society. Long sir. Society. Society is getting stronger. Society. Общество. And that's all. That's another set of 10. It's not all because there's another 10 words, but that's all for this little set of 10. So you can press pause and practice these words, or just stay with me for the last set. Number 191. На моем велосипеде есть звонок. My bicycle has a bell. We also talk about ring the doorbell. That's звонок на двери. But if it's домофон, ring the intercom. So домофон is the intercom, but on the door is the doorbell. Intercom, the doorbell. And remember, the stress on the first word. Doorbell, intercom. Doorbell, intercom. But bell is not only звонок, it's also колокол. Колокола. I love that word. Колокола. Колокола. Ding, ding, ding. Колокола. They always ring the bells before a service. Они всегда звонят в колокола перед службой. The bells. When you say bells, try to use dark l. Tip of your tongue down. L. Bells. 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 Bell. Bells. Next one. Pub важен. Pub важен для местного сообщества. Pub важен для местного сообщества. Сообщество. The pub is important to the local community. I know in Russian there is this word community. Now, community, yes, it is a community. 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 But to make it sound much more British, community. What do we need? We need a lot of w. Community. And at the end, a bit of y as well. Well, that's too much. Community. Community. In Russian, you get more vowel sound. Community. 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 More consonants. Community. Community. It's important to the local community. Community. 193. Я чувствовал себя так, словно попал в ад. I felt like I was in hell. We've already had heaven, now we've got hell. And if something's really awful. Adskaya. I've had a hellish day. I don't know. Can you say adski dень in Russian? A really bad day. A hellish day. Like I was in hell. Hell. Okay, 194. You definitely know this word. Я самая умная девочка в своем классе. Самая умная. I am the most intelligent girl in my class. Intelligent. Just remember that intelligent, it's not about intelligentность. It's something different. Intelligentность, as I understand it, is a cultural thing. It's not about your brains, it's about your education and your culture in Russian. Intelligentность. I would even say it's like a class. Class intelligentov. In English, intelligent is just clever. You know, she's very intelligent. She's really clever. It's the same thing. If you want to talk about intelligentность, it's better to use the word intellectual. He's an intellectual. That's on intelligent. An intellectual. And actually, the Soviet intelligentsia, I don't know, were heavily influenced by we use the word intelligentsia when we talk about this group in Soviet or even in modern Russian society, the intelligentsia. So it's an English word too. The noun, никто не сомневается в вашем интеллекте. Nobody doubts your intelligence. So intelligence, it can be intellect, but it can be as well about spying, разведка. So the CIA is the Central Intelligence Agency, I think. So spies gather intelligence. Not buys, spies. Spies gather intelligence. There we go. Spies gather intelligence. There we go. 195. Я пропустил сегодняшнюю лекцию. Лекция. I missed the lecture today. Lecture, the most important thing, T-U-R-E equals ch. Lecture. Ch. The lecture today. I missed the lecture. It's also a verb, you know. Не читайте мне лекцию. Don't lecture me. (196) Она указала на некоторые проблемы с моим планом. Она указала, вот это не так, это не то, это не то. She pointed out some problems with my plan. Useful phrasal verb. She pointed out some problems. Pointed them out. What other things do we point out? Let's have a look at some collocates with point. Point out nouns. Whoops. You can point out some people. Point out the people you know. That one, that one, that one. Point them out. I want to point out some things. I want to point out the facts. I want to point out the flaws. Flaws at the недостатки. Point out the flaws. Point out the problems. So, point out. Температура повышается. The temperature is rising. Let's have a nice r in this word. Rising. Поднимается. It's rising. I hope you know the difference between rise and raise. They raised the temperature. the temperature rose. So rose, сам по себе, but raise something. And it's raise, raised, raised, but it's rise, rose, risen. And солнце еще не взошло. The sun hasn't risen yet. We also say, Christ is risen on Easter Sunday. So, Christos воскрес, Christ is risen. That's another situation when we use this word, risen. And you can also find rise in the word for восход солнца. Во сколько восходит солнце? What time is sunrise? There was a beautiful sunrise this morning. Sunrise. Sunrise. Stress on the first word. Sunrise. So we get a long s. Sunrise. Sunrise. 198. В нашем отеле останавливались такие знаменитости, как Дэвид Бекхэм и Хью Грант. Celebrities such as David Beckham and Hugh Grant have stayed in our hotel. Nearly got it. So here the phrase is such as, такие как, such as David Beckham and Hugh Grant. Such as. It's quite a useful phrase. Try to use it. Instead of, for example, such as. 199, the penultimate word. Penultimate means the предпоследнее. This is the penultimate word, 199. Я не думаю, что эта тенденция продлится долго. Тенденция. I do not think that this trend will last long. So a trend is тенденция in this case. She's really trendy. Means like она модная, в тренде. She's trendy. She always wears clothes which are trending. And the last word. Интересно. Почему она ушла? Интересно. Интересно. Very useful way to start a question. Интересно. I wonder why she left. We often, интересно, почему? I wonder why. I wonder. Интересно. I wonder. We also very often, when we want to get information from somebody, we don't ask directly. We say, I was wondering whether you know anything about tomorrow's meeting. I was wondering whether you had heard anything from Sam. So if you are writing emails, writing letters, this phrase, I was wondering whether, is a very useful way to say, а вы не слышали что-то? А вы не знаете что-то? Может, вы что-то знаете? I was wondering whether. It's a nice phrase. Try to use it. But wonder also means wow. Пейзаж наполнил меня удивлением. Wow. The landscape filled me with wonder. Wonder. Wow. And we get the adjective wonderful from this sense of wow, wonder. У нас был чудесный день. We had a wonderful day. It's wonderful. And if you want to say it's really wonderful, don't say wonderful, say wonderful. Lots of w and lots of n. A wonderful day. It was wonderful. Everything was wonderful. And I hope that this lesson will make your English a little bit more wonderful. That's all. Well done. You made it to the end. I hope that you worked a lot on your pronunciation. I hope that your lips and your mouth are a little bit tired because you've been using them a lot. And of course, if you really want to master these words and get them into your active vocabulary, then I really recommend buying the full version of my course, Words You Need, so that you can practice all these sentences on my website, hopkinsenglish.com, or in my app, which is called Hopkins English. That's all. I will see you again soon for the next lesson and the next 50 words. Bye.